All right, now let's talk motivation. We all know that we need it to perform tasks and to achieve our goals. And we can find ourselves being motivated by a number of things in life, including money, praise from others, for example. But if there is such a thing as the right or wrong way to motivate children, well, we're about to find that out right now. How do you go about doing it? And that's why our parenting coach, Laura Markovitz, joins us this morning in the studio to offer some advice on the topic. Great to have you here,
Good to
Laura.
be
Hello,
here.
Laura.
And
listen, sorry, before we do anything, it is National Milk Time Day, okay? Would you like a piece of milk tarts?
I would absolutely love a piece,
That's
please,
good to
on
know.
this special
Because
day.
if you said no, it would have been a problem.
Yeah, it would be completely awkward on this special day.
We've got one set aside for you, depending on how you answer the following question.
Exactly.
My reward.
Well,
Keeping me motivated.
That's what we're talking about here this
Yeah.
morning. I think let's start with a broad kind of question, specifically with our kids. I mean, we as adults, we are motivated in many different ways in our life, but specifically when it comes to our kids and how parents approach that motivational kind of side of raising their kids, how do we keep them motivated?
So, I mean, the thing is, we've got to be thinking about, obviously, some children, we've got different personalities, different traits, but there are certain things that we can be doing. And a really important thing is it's character development.
Yeah.
So we want to be making sure that our children have a healthy sense of self-worth, that they've got value in themselves, they have self-efficacy, that they know that they can affect change in the world, and that they have self-compassion, so that they're able to handle failure and be able to be kind to themselves when that happens.
Yeah.
So to start building that kind of stuff for us as parents, we've got to be thinking about, well, how are we exposing our children? What are we doing to keep them motivated and to build those characters? So things like making sure we are exposing them to things that are interesting and engaging in the world.
Yeah.
Remembering to give them bite-sized chunks. So we don't want to give them a whole lot of things to do. We're not going to teach them to ride a bicycle and say next week, you're in the Argus. You know, we don't want to tell them you're learning for exams and you're going to sit down every single minute of the day. Bite-sized chunks so that they can feel that sense of achievement and that they are able to get through things. We also want to make space to acknowledge and address the fears that they may have. So if there are, I'm absolutely not doing X, Y, Z, whether it's maths or cricket or whatever it is, that we actually identify what's going on here. Why are they worried about it? What is the anxiety that's holding them back? So that we can address it. So it really is about thinking through how we can make things manageable and keep our children engaged so that they have that sense of self-worth, self-efficacy, and self-compassion in the world.
I think that's the most important thing. That's the underlying basis of why we try and motivate them, because we're trying to build them into fully functioning adults in society. So what about the idea of, well, I'll bring you back to this question when we come back, but about offering children rewards in order to motivate them or inspire them to do things that they don't want to do. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let's hold on to that thought for just a second. You can enjoy a slice of milk tart. I like the way that you answered this first round of questions.
That's a good answer.
Enjoy that. And I will speak about rewards when I come back. Thank you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Early, nice and early on this Wednesday morning. Yes, it is. It is.
It is.
Now listen,
I'm waiting for
so good! Yes! Nice one. I like that.
Sorry, man, I was waiting. I was just...
That's motivating and encouraging. And Laura thinks so
I feel
too.
motivated.
Absolutely. So earlier on, we were speaking to our certified parenting coach, Laura Markovitz, about how to motivate and inspire our children out there. What are the right kinds of ways of doing it? And the last question I left her with was, is it a good idea to give your children rewards in order to motivate them to do the things that they don't want to do?
And so tempting.
So you can have that milk tart
Yeah, exactly. So we just live through it. So, and it is so tempting, but you know, we've always got to be thinking short term versus long term. And ultimately, we want our children to be intrinsically motivated rather than being motivated by external rewards. So I want them to be able to ride their bicycle from A to B because it feels amazing and it feels incredible that I started pedaling and I felt the wind in my hair and that felt amazing, not because I'm going to get an ice cream at the end of it. I'm going to learn hard for the test tomorrow, not because you've promised me a car or whatever, but because it actually felt good to know that knowledge, be able to sit in the test comfortably. So we really want them to feel that stuff. So I always say, you know, rewards, yes, they have a place in life, and of course they can be incentivizing, but they shouldn't be our first port of call at all. We rather want to be equipping our kids to feel that feeling of success so that they can take that and then they can use that going forward.
But how do you do that? I'm sorry that I'm just jumping in. How do you do that, especially when it comes to, let's say, something like knowledge and something that is so internalized that you can only feel good at the fact that, okay, fine, the test went well, but at the end of the day, you know something that you can apply, that you can perhaps converse about, that you couldn't before. How do you motivate a child?
So it's a learned thing, and I think a really important, there's amazing work done by Carol Dweck, and she does a whole lot of studies about something called growth mindset. Growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. And if we have a fixed mindset, it means I know I am clever, or I am good at soccer, or I am a brilliant ballet dancer. But as soon as something becomes a bit more difficult and I have a big challenging test, or the dancing exam was really difficult, I then doubt myself. If we have a growth mindset, we're teaching children that with effort, with time, with practice, with putting some work in, we can always improve. So that's something that's a continuous lesson.
So that is something that you would kind of address from an early age on to kind of build that foundation of an internal, you know, reward system for yourself. Because I mean, take a look at a young kid, you know, that's not necessarily going to go for an exam or something, but wow, if you finish that plate of food, then, you know, how do you do that then without that reward of like a chocolate at the end of it?
So great things, self-evaluation, get them to evaluate. Is your tummy full? Does your tummy feel full now? Did it feel nice? Okay, great, moving on, as opposed to you're going to get the ice cream. So we can talk about...
But they're so clever. They eat one chip and I'm full.
So absolutely.
You know, not in my house.
Really? Are your children not eating all their vegetables happily? So it's about thinking about creative ways to get them to do it. So obviously we're sitting at a table getting creative ways to do it, but it is also about checking in with them and not always me giving that stamp of approval or disapproval and going, that's enough, you've had enough. Encouraging, but not forcing them. So yeah, lots to talk about.
I got a long way to go still. But I still find the stare down quite effective. Spoon, stare.
Yeah, wait
Who's
till they
winning this?
stare back at you, bro. It's going to come. Little Phoenix going to go like, and now? What now?
Laura, thank you very much. Wow, I wish we could chat a bit more about this topic, but clearly lots to learn. And we can check out coachparents.coza if we're looking to engage with you online and gain some more insight.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.